Jon Mendez here, another of our little how-tos. We've got a stunning day, but it's winter time. So we thought we'd go for a little bimble around Poole Harbour, one of the most beautiful spots in the world. Tide's in, so we can go actually all the way around Brownsea Island, just keeping an eye on the depth, because in places it's quite shallow. And we'll just chat through A, why winter boating can be so fab, and B, some things that you might need to think about so you really enjoy it. So a few little things that we're just going to think about while we're out here. Wind chill. We're in a nice boat with an enclosed wheelhouse. Shed boats I call them, because they have that lovely little cabin. Very, very popular with the French. This one's a little Beneteau. And they have that ideal winter boating environment, or just when the weather's not so clement. But today we've got to think about wind chill. Temperature at the moment is about 3 degrees. In here we've got no wind chill, but obviously anything we do on deck will have a wind chill. So we need to think about the wind chill. Need to wear enough layers. I get really cold hands, so I've got gloves to wear to make sure I don't get too cold. Make sure we've got lots of layers, so if we do get damp at all, we've still got some warmth in our body. We need to think about hats as well, very, very important. For our little area, we're going to poodle around the back of Brownsea Island. Just to give you a quick glance at the chart. Most important for us is obviously wind and tide. Where we're going is quite shallow. We've already had high tide, but today we get quite a long stand, so we've got a couple of hours in which to do our little trek before the tide will get a little bit low, so we'll just bear that in mind at all times. And we'll take in the stunning scenery. So although we've got a bright sunny day and we've got a boat with a cabin, I am Mr. Prepared. So I always have in my bag for going afloat thermal undies, tops and bottoms, thermal fleece, then I've got full set of proper wind and waterproof leggings and a big coat, and I carry a small coat so I can deal with all the eventualities, and that's really just to keep me warm. If we were out in a rib today, I'd need all of that. And also, just in case, I don't like cold feet, so I've got some thermal wellies. You can get very posh yachting boots. These are just thermal wellies. Fantastic. Really, really warm. And then over this way, we've got proper big gloves for helming in real cold weather, or for deck work if something goes wrong and we need to be outside. Proper thermal insulated hat, got really good lining in that. Little buff for the neck. And I also have a pair of fingerless gloves which allow me to work on things if I'm actually struggling with something on deck or anchoring or something of that nature. So those for me are really, really important. Still take sun cream, got to make sure the old skin doesn't fall off, sunglasses. And then we're only small boat and local, so what do we need safety kit wise? So we've got a VHF handheld, there's one on the boat as well, so that just allows us to be correct and safely informed. Set of inshore flares, because we're not going terribly far. Throw line that we hope never to use, but also useful if we need to rescue someone else that's having a trouble with their boat. First aid kit and chart of the relevant area. And that's about my basic limit. But then I add to that comfort. So we've got a flask, we've got hot soup in this one, we've got another one with coffee, some hot water for Richard and his tea, and some food. Because we have intended a couple of hours, but be prepared, things can go wrong. So make sure you've got everything you need. Mobile phone, fully charged. Hopefully a charger on the boat so we can keep it up to topped up in case we need some form of assistance. And for whatever reason, the VHF is not working. So just a mini overview of our plan. I've just stepped out into the cockpit and it's proper chilly out there, so we're going to stay inside. But the scenery's beautiful. We've just set off from Port of Poole up the top here. We've come down across a little channel, wheels cut, and then we'll come round the back here, round by Pottery Pier. And then you'll see when you look at this chart, there's some yellow bits, so that means it dries, so we've got to be quite careful. We've got about 1.6 metres of tide, so we've got enough water to just sneak around the back here, along the channel, back up round, and then we'll probably return via the main channel back to the marina, just for safety's sake, because it will be starting to shallow along the cut. So we've just stopped for a moment off Pottery Pier, just about to go into gear back again. Little interesting thing, just at this North Cardinal, we've got a change on the buoyage. So at the moment, I've got my starboard buoys on my starboard side and my port on my port. When I get to the North Cardinal, I'm going to leave that on my port side. I'm up north of it already, and then we're going to leave all the next set of reds on my starboard side, because the two channels going around this little island meet here at the North Cardinal. So we'll just pop her into gear and then gently just have a little fraction of revs. Just a little bit of wash from one of those fishermen. I'm going to put my sunnies on. It's really bright out here today, which is gorgeous. And this is the sort of thing you want to do at this time of year. Don't really want to go outside the harbour. We've had easterlies for a few days, so it's horrible out there. But within somewhere like this, you've got this stunning atmosphere, stunning light, and just where else would you want to be? Pottering around in a small boat in England. So here's the North Cardinal, and off to the starboard side we've got another channel that leads up to a beautiful little nature reserve. And now I'm going to swap. I've gone from having all my port lateral markers on my port side because I've approached into a channel, and now technically I'm leaving on a channel, so I'm going to have all these port markers onto my starboard side. And just as we come up to this mark, it's pretty shallow. It dries at the big spring tide here, so that's quite exciting. We've got about 2.3 metres of water, and we draw about a metre, so there's plenty under the boat. We're only doing 6 knots. It's a 6 knot speed limit. And places like this is, to me, what winter boating's about. We're not too cold. Stunning bit of scenery. We've got a cup of coffee just about to happen, which is fantastic. And now, just on the little plotter in front of me, I can see the depth drop right down as I sneak over this bit of bank. And we're still fine. 1.7. Still plenty under the boat. And now, those port lateral markers are appearing. There's a nice line of them, and they're all going to remain on the starboard side of the boat. So navigationally, I've worked that bit out. Had a look at my chart first. The plotter just confirms it all for me. And in the background, stunning bit of scenery. What could be better? So just enjoy the view. It's the most stunning place. We're just going past another of the little islands. This one's private. And then I swing gently round to follow the shore a little bit closer. We're out in 3 metres, absolute luxury here. And then we'll get up to a little bit where there's no stakes. We just need to pick a transit on the land to make sure we stay on track. We'll see that in a moment. So we've just stopped here. We're roughly here. We're just coming up on the last red post. And from here all the way up, I've got a little bit of no marks at all. So how do I make sure I stay safe? Well, I can use nature. Out there we've got loads of marks. They're all at the entrance to the harbour up here. If I have a quick look up now, I can actually see a red and a South Cardinal. I've had a look at the charts, I know which ones they are. If I line them up, that'll give me a perfect natural transit. I can just run the boat along that. That'll keep me on the nice bit of water. Because of the state of tide, it's not too critical, but this is just a great technique to have. Choose a natural transit, drive your boat along it. That'll keep you safe till the next set of marks appear. So, we've moored up stern to, and you might wonder why. Well, there's enough tide to do a stern to mooring and hold us actually head to wind. So our cockpit is beautifully warm and in the sunshine and really quite snug. If I stick my hand out over that starboard side, there's a really nasty wind chill. And then in about 20 minutes, the tide will ease and we'll end up the other way around freezing. So we'd have to go bow on the mooring to get the sunshine. But think about what we've just done. Nice little trip. Just under 2 hours. We haven't seen another boat. We haven't seen a paddleboarder. We haven't seen a jet ski. Nobody. And for me, that's one of the best things about winter time. Yeah, you've got to take extra care when it's cold, but you're all on your own and it's absolutely stunning. Enjoy.